The World in 2029 by Lars Rinnan, Amesto NextBridge.
So will we go to rock concerts with robots playing AC/DC in 2029? Hell no. We'll still want to go to rock concerts with real rockers, with attitude, with tattoo, with feelings. But 2029 will be quite different from today. In 2029, you maybe not have an ordinary job. You most certainly won't own a car. And perhaps the hamburger that you're eating is made in a laboratory. What's even better is that the world in 2029 will not have poverty, pollution, famine, or disease either. So welcome to a very near but very different future. So why 2029, you may ask? Well, 2029 is an important milestone because at that time, cheap $1,000 computer will have the same computing power as your brain. That means that a machine can do basically every cognitive task that a human being can do, only quicker, faster, and better. Today, that same cheap computer is at the level of a mouse brain, so this will be a huge improvement. This will change everything. So let's look at jobs. In 2029, half of the jobs from today will be done by AI and robots. All the boring, dirty, and dangerous jobs will be gone, and no one will miss them. Sure, there will be new jobs, but most of them will actually be done by a robot. So all the routine jobs will be gone. Storage work will be done by robots and drones. You will see accountants becoming financial advisors, since bookkeeping is done by an algorithm. The ones who have non-routine jobs, they will be highly tech supported with AI, augmented reality, and they will have become substantially better at their jobs. You will see surgeons doing surgery with augmented reality glasses, highly precision. You will see building site managers like this one, using AI and augmented reality to visualize alternatives and to do informed decisions. So what about the ones who have lost their job? Well, I think this is the right way to look at that, because it's not like the robots are taking your job. This is an opportunity to do something more meaningful. But of course, you need income. So the ones who don't have to do their job anymore in 2029, they will be supported by universal basic income, financed by taxation of the hyper-profitable companies, like Facebook, who hardly pays any tax at all. Then the question becomes, what would you do if your income were taken care of? Now that's a really interesting question. So let's look at the environment. In 2029, transport will be electric, energy will be renewable, and farming will be highly efficient. Those three areas amount to 66% of CO2 emissions. So that's important. And yes, you will have flying cars in 2029. So how cool is that? Cars will be electric and autonomous. Less and less people will own their own car. In the cities, almost no one owns a car. It's a subscription service. You will have lots of configurations to choose from, like sleeper cars or party cars, cheap cars, and luxurious cars. Energy will come from solar. That will be the cheapest energy source. That will power all urban transportation. So when transportation is autonomous and electric, the charging takes place outside of the city, in charging parks. That means you don't need parking spaces anymore. So parking spaces will become parks, playgrounds, even urban farming, making our cities more friendly and greener and more livable. This will take care of a lot of the CO2 emissions. I also mentioned farming, so let's look at farming while we look at hunger. So today, 11% of the global population, or 800 million people, are starving. It only costs 30 billion US to eradicate hunger, but no one is willing to pay the bill. But maybe AI and exponential technology can actually address that. So in 2029, you will see cultivated meat, indistinguishable from natural meat, full of nutrients, perfect balance. This will also reduce food waste. It will reduce the problem with farting cows. You will also see hydroponic farming, using 99% less soil, 90% less water, no use for pesticides as farming is done indoors. The lights, water, temperature, everything is controlled by AI. Now this is 300 times more efficient than traditional farming. Think about that. Take a look at this guy coming into a restaurant, having his face scanned, checking his metabolic status, suggesting what ingredients should go into his sushi, and then 3D printing exactly that sushi. So that sounds like science fiction, right? But this restaurant actually opened in Tokyo last year. So when you have cultivated food, you have hydroponic farming, you have 3D printed food, that means that food production is then local. You don't have to move it from one part of the planet to another one. That changes a lot of things. And incidentally, it looks like he's also enjoying the 3D printed sushi with all the ingredients. So isn't it about time that we remove the shameful fact that 800 million people are hungry? So let's look at disease. Today, we have reactive sick care. Let's face it. In the future, we will have proactive healthcare. We'll go from taking pills to using sensors to monitor our health status in real time. You'll have a lot of smartwatches, smart gadgets, collecting more data than ever before. And these sensors are also going on your skin and also under your skin. I have 4 friends who has this kind of sensor in their hand, actually. And in 2029, you will also see nanobots injected into your bloodstream, keeping viruses at bay and even fighting cancer, as well as removing congestion in your blood vessels. So 1 nanometer is about the size that your fingernail grows in 1 second. So it's super small. So this will be as ordinary as taking a vaccine. So is this science fiction? No, it's actually just science. But people don't understand the difference between linear and exponential. 30 linear steps being 30 meters, 30 exponential steps being 1 billion meters. So people tend to think in a linear manner, but technology is developing in an exponential manner, doubling in computation speed every 18 months. And this is why this will be possible in 2029. Think about 3D printing. It is a more than 30-year-old technology, but it has been doubling exponentially ever since. And now we are 3D printing houses, food, and even blood vessels. So I believe that the future can be fantastic. Universal basic income may have eradicated poverty. We may have eradicated pollution and famine, and also made disease a thing of the past. So all that is actually possible. It's up to us, not the robots. So let's make the future fantastic for us and for the future generations to come. Thank you.